Alrighty. Today you are going to want some extra paper because these examples are not in your book. Okay, so if you need paper, there's free blank paper at the back of the classroom. Okay, today we are going to finish up metric conversions. So, our first example here, we have 16.85 liters, and we don't know how many microliters. This is not on any page of your book. This is just, you're going to write it down, okay? So we need a conversion factor between liters and microliters, yes? So you need to remember what micro stands for. And if you remember your song, it goes mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano. Now you guys are going to fill in the numbers. 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6. 9 is for the nano. Mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano. 6, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6. 9 is for the nano. Okay, now which ones of those are positive? The first two are positive, all the rest are negative. So now we know that micro is -6, which means 10 to the -6. And my question to you is, in this conversion factor, tell your partner, where do we put the 1? And where do we put the 10 to the -6? Now, how many of you could answer that question immediately, like right away without thinking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so maybe a third of you. I want that to be 100% of you. So we are going to take this opportunity. You're going to love me today. We are going to do a conga line. Do you guys know what a conga line is? Let's go see what a conga line is. Conga line. And I swear, after you have done this, you will never, ever, ever again have to think about where the 1 goes. Maybe videos. Okay. Do you guys like, here we have some dogs doing a conga line. Okay, let's get a video of a conga line. Now we don't actually have to, here's a family conga line. Okay, let's see. very slow today.
Shake your body, baby, do the conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do the conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Okay, now we don't have to touch each other because that's like awkward, right? But we are going to go around in a circle. Okay? So how this is going to work is that it goes like this. The one goes with the prefix, 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 the one goes with the prefix. I know you're looking at like, I'm not going to do this, but yet you are. Everyone in my class did it. So you too are going to do it with me. So let's make a circle all around the outside of the classroom. I'm going to turn that off so it doesn't blind you as you go past. Are we ready? Here we go. The one goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. Stay with me. The one goes with the prefix. 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 Say it. Everyone with me together. Say it. One goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. It goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. The one goes with the prefix. Okay. You make us sit down now.
Go back. Everyone go back. Abandon post.
So, where does the one go? With the prefix, where is our prefix, on the top or the bottom? It's on the bottom, right? We've got here is our prefix. Yes, the micro is the prefix. So the 1 goes with the prefix, and that means that our 10 to the negative 6 goes with the liters. So now we have a conversion factor. So anytime you want to convert between a prefix unit and a base unit, or a base unit and a prefix unit, you will never forget where the 1 goes. Where does the 1 go? Oh my God, that was sad. Where does the 1 go? Yes, okay. So now, if we're going to actually show our work, which of course you are going to, because you will not get credit if you do not show your work, we're going to say my unknown, I don't know how many microliters, and I am starting with my initial quantity, 16.85 liters. And now we're going to multiply, so you're going to write a times and then a line for our conversion factor. The liters, where do liters need to go? On the bottom, and the microliters need to go on the top. And so in this case, where is the 1 going to go? On the top. So I'm going to have to take, the way I wrote this, I'm going to have to flip it upside down. And of course, you can always flip any conversion factor upside down. So that goes there, and then we have 10 to the negative 6. And there are 2 ways of doing the calculation here. You can do it without a calculator or with a calculator, and we will do it both ways. You can choose which one you like better. So we have liters canceling out, so all we're left with is microliters. We still have 16.85. Now, if I have 10 to the negative 6 in the denominator, what does that become when I bring it up to the numerator? It becomes 10 to the positive 6. Okay, so if you like just doing it like that without a calculator, that's perfectly good. And I'm just going to let that answer sit there for a moment and let you ponder it and see what you think about it. Yeah, what is my problem? The decimal's in the wrong place, right? Like I cannot have scientific notation with two numbers in front of the decimal. So let's move our decimal one place to the left. Okay, so that's now going to become 1.685 times 10 to the, now this number got smaller by 10 to the 1, move one decimal place. So this number has to get bigger. So that's going to be 10 to the 7. And once again, I'm going to let that answer sit there so you can ponder it. Yes, the unit. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the unit. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the unit. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the unit. Okay. So what should our unit be here? Microliters. Yes? And then we're done. Yay. All right. Next example, we have 0.014 milligrams, and we don't know how many grams that is. So we need a conversion factor between which two units? Milligrams and grams. So we have milligrams and we have grams. And we can once again say mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, 6312369 is for the nano. And then the first two are positive and all of these last ones are negative. So milli is -3. What does that mean? 10 to the -3. So we need to put a 1 in here somewhere, and we need to put a 10 to the -3 in here somewhere. Where does the 1 go? With the prefix. So does it go on the top or the bottom? On the top. Well, the 1 goes with the prefix, and then the 10 to the 3, -3, goes on the bottom. So now we have a conversion factor. So our unknown is equal to our initial quantity, 0.014 milligrams, times our conversion factor. Where do the milligrams need to go? On the bottom, so that they will cancel out and the grams will go on the top. And what that means is now that the 1, which goes with the prefix of course, has to go on the bottom, and the 10 to the -3 has to go on the top. Milligrams cancel out. We end up with 0.014 times 10 to the -3 grams. And we would now need to fix that, because is it in scientific notation? No. We'll move our decimal place over 2 places. So now we have 1.4, which means that the 0.014 got bigger or smaller? Bigger. And we move the decimal place two places, so it got bigger by 10 to the 2. So this has to get smaller by 10 to the 2. Now my question for you is, which one is getting smaller? Do I want to put a 10 to the negative 1 or a 10 to the negative 5 there? Tell your partner. Ten to the negative 1 is 0.1. 10 to the negative 3 is 0.001. And 10 to the negative 5 is 0.00001. So if I want this to get smaller, I'm going to have to go to 10 to the negative 5. Remember that when you're dealing with negative exponents, the larger the negative number, the smaller the actual number itself. Okay. Ooh, I promised you that we were going to also do this on our calculator. So make sure you have your calculator out. We're going to go back to our first question and we'll do this one and the next one. So back in our previous example, we had 16.85 liters times 1 microliter over 10 to the negative 6 liters. Now on our calculator, here's how we're going to type that in. Obviously just 16.85. I'm not going to write out each individual keystroke for that. And then do I need to type times 1? No, because I just don't need to, right? Because it just equals the same thing. So what I'm going to type next is I'm going to type divided by, because I'm dividing by 10 to the negative 6. And in order to enter 10 to the negative 6, what we're really going to be entering is 1 times 10 to the negative 6. And you guys know how to do that now, right? That would be 1. What key would we press? Either EXP or EE or times 10 to the X. So 1 times 10 to the negative 6. I would like you to plug that into your calculator and see if you get what we previously got as our answer, which was 1.685 times 10 to the 7. So plug in this bit on your calculator and see if you get 1.685 times 10 to the 7. And if you do not get that, call me over. Are we good? Okay. All right. Let us try our next one on the calculator. Okay. So you would, for this one, you would type in 0.014 and then times 1 times 10 to the, so exp, or times 10 to the, and then you would type in -3. And see if you do, when you do that, do you get 1.4 times 10 to the -5? Yes? Excellent. Okay. There are other ways of doing it on the calculator. I am only showing you one of them. Okay, so if you've got another way that you like doing it, just make sure it's giving you the correct answer. All right. All right, next one. 25.3 centimeters cubed is equal to how many milliliters? .3 centimeters cubed equals I don't know how many milliliters. Yes. Yes, indeed, you remember. What do you guys remember about a centimeter cubed? 1 centimeter cubed? Oh, you remember? Hold up your little imaginary cube. It equals how much? 1 milliliter. Yes? 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. And so that means if I have 25.3 centimeters cubed, then I also have 25.3 milliliters. You could show that as a conversion, but because it's a 1-to-1, you can just replace it, okay? If you wanted to use a conversion factor, you could, but you don't have to. Okay, next, 10.5 grams is how many kilograms? Well, how many kilograms is 10 to the 10.5, not 10 to the 10.5 grams? Well, I'm going to want to cancel the grams, and I'm going to want to find the kilograms. And you might just remember that a kilogram is 1,000 grams, in which case you could use that. Or if you've forgotten that, you can go mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, 631, 236, 9 is for the nano. All right, and so kilo is 3, so our power of 10 is 10 to the 3. Where is that 10 to the 3 going to go? Tell your partner, will the 10 to the 3 go on the top or the bottom? Where does that 10 to the 3 go? Is it going to go on the top or is it going to go on the bottom? The 10 to the 3 has to go on the bottom because the 1 goes with the prefix, the 1 goes with the prefix, the 1 goes with the prefix, the 1 goes with the prefix. So that means that the 1 has to go on the top. That means our 10 to the 3 has to go with the gram, the one that does not have the prefix. Okay. And once again, we can do this without a calculator. 10.5. If I want to take that 10 to the 3 and I want to move it up to the numerator, what does it have to become? 10 to the negative 3. And I'm going to let you tell your partner if there's anything wrong with my answer as it stands. What's the first thing that's wrong with it? It's not in scientific notation, so let's make it in scientific notation. This one is going to get smaller by 10 to the 1, so this one has to get bigger by 10 to the 1, and so this is going to become 1.05 times, and now your choices are, is it going to be 10 to the negative 2 or is it going to be 10 to the negative 4? 10 to the negative 2, because of course this one is equal to 0.01. 10 to the negative 4 is 0.0001, and 10 to the negative 3 is 0.001. So if we want to get bigger, we have to go to 10 to the negative 2. Yes. I need units. What do I have left? I've canceled out my grams. Now I only have kilograms. And now I am done. Okay, let's see, are there any more here, or are we now moving on? Ooh, here's a fun one. What is the mass of 25.0 centimeters cubed of water? So what's mass measured in? Grams. Okay, so I don't know how many grams. So my unknown is, I don't know how many grams. My initial quantity is 25.0 centimeters cubed. Now we learned another metric conversion the other day that would help us get from centimeters cubed to grams. Does anyone remember what it was? Yeah. The density of water. And what is our density of water? 1 gram per milliliter. And we are going to stick 3 zeros after that, so we got tons of sig figs, 1 gram per milliliter. And what do you know about centimeters cubed? They are 1 milliliter, so my initial quantity, I could show it as a conversion, or I could just rewrite it as 25.0 milliliters. So I don't know how many grams. I'll pause for a minute because you guys got stuff to write down. So there is our unknown, I don't know how many grams, is equal to our initial quantity, 25.0 milliliters. I want to cancel the milliliters and I want to find the grams. And oh my goodness, guess what? What's my answer? 25. Yeah, yeah. And once you finish writing that all down, ponder my answer for a little bit. Tell your partner how we could make our answer better. I'm sorry, the tissues just ended up like, you know, you can see them the other block, and yeah. And you're like, oh look, I've got hand sanitizer. You've got like everything. It's like a little hole here, right? And this block. Too funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh, I should have a little hand sanitizer at every desk too. And a little lotion, like a little hand lotion. Okay, how are we doing? What should I do to make my answer better? 0.0 because I have 3 sig figs and I have 4 sig figs, so my answer should have 3 sig figs. What else should I do? Units, and don't forget the units. Oop, not milliliters, grams. There we are. Okay, on to bigger and better things. I'll let you do the questions for this stuff a little bit later, but we are going to go on to 2 and more step metric conversions. And we are going to start with this example, 0.3700. So this is on page 77. So here I have a prefix unit, and I have another prefix unit. Does anyone just off the top of their head know a conversion between micrograms and decigrams? No. Okay, so that is the general usual answer. If you do happen to know it, you are most welcome to use it. Okay, but most people just can't do that off the top of their heads. But what could you convert micrograms into? You could convert micrograms into grams because you do know a conversion factor between micrograms and grams. What would you do next? Grams can go to decigrams. So the trick is if you have a prefix and a prefix, you're going to go to the base unit in the middle. And it's going to be a 1 2-step problem. And in fact, if we go back here, don't worry, we'll go back to that in a moment. If we look back here, when converting from one prefix unit to another prefix unit, we are going to do the conversion in how many steps? 2 steps. You're going to go from the prefix unit to the plain unit, and then from the plain unit into the second prefix unit. So if I gave you centiliters and asked you to find kiloliters, you cannot do that in one step. You have to go from centiliters to the plain unit, liters, and then to kiloliters. If I gave you micrograms and you wanted to convert that to milligrams, unless you know a conversion between micrograms and milligrams, which most people don't, you're going to have to convert to the plane unit, the base unit in between. So that's going to be a two-step process. Same thing, decimoles would go to moles, and then we could go to nanomoles. Okay? Shall we try this one? Okay, so this is the example that we have. So we are starting with, we want to find decigrams. And we are starting with 0.3700 micrograms. Step number 1, we want to convert from micrograms into grams. So what do I need to do with the micrograms? I need to put it on the bottom so that it will cancel out. And that means that the grams are going to go on the top. That micro looks weird. There we go. That looks better. So that would be step 1. Step 2, we would cancel out the grams because we have grams on the top, and we would find the decigrams. And if you have forgotten which power of 10 goes with each, mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, 631, 236, 9 is for the nano. All right, so here we have micro. Micro is -6, so that is 10 to the -6. So in your conversion up here, you're going to have a 1 and you're going to have a 10 to the -6. Where does the 1 go? The 1 goes with the, oh God, you guys are horrible. Come on. The 1 goes with the, thank you. Okay. So the 1 goes with the prefix, so here goes the 1, and that means that the micro, the 10 to the -6 goes here. Deci is 10 to the -1. So tell your partner, where will the 1 go and where will the 10 to the -1 go? The 1 goes with the prefix, which means that the 10 to the -1 goes with the plain old gram. Now there's a few ways of doing this, depending on how you like to do your math. You can say, okay, I've got 0.3700 times 10 to the -6. But now I want to, what am I going to do with that 10 to the -1? I actually have a couple choices. I'm going to do it this way to start with. That's going to be times 10 to the +1, which is going to be equal to 0.3700. What do I get if I multiply 10 to the -6 times 10 to the 1? What do I do with the exponents? I add them, and so that's going to be 10 to the -5. Okay, so I have 0.3700 times 10 to the -5, and now I'm going to move my decimal place, so that becomes 3.7. That got bigger, so the other half has to get smaller. And once again, I will let you ponder my answer here. Chat with your partner about my answer, see how you feel about it. What's one thing that is wrong with my answer? Sig figs and units. Yes, both of those things, sig figs and units. This number here has 4 sig figs, so this needs to have 4 sig figs, 2 more zeros. And units, if I go back to my calculation, I've canceled out the milligrams, I've canceled out the grams, all I'm left with is decigrams. Okay? Now, I would like you to try plugging that in on your calculator and seeing if you can get 3.7 times 10 to the negative 6. And if you don't, then call me over. So we have 0.3700 times 10 to the negative 6 divided by 10 to the negative 1. And if you're not getting 3.7 times 10 to the negative 6 at the end, call me over and I will help you out. Anyone not getting the right answer? Need a hand? Anyone? Anyone? Going once, going twice, going 3 times? Sold. Okay. We're going to do a big bad problem. A big bad horrible problem, and then I'm going to give you some time to practice. All right. So our big bad horrible problem is on page 78. And our question is, we have 352 megagrams per kiloliter, and we don't know how many nanograms per centimeter cubed we have. So first of all, when you see that slash, what should you do? Rewrite it. So we're going to rewrite it as 352 megagrams per kiloliter. And this one over here, we're going to rewrite it as just nanograms over centimeters cubed. Now, when you see a centimeter cubed, what should you be thinking? Centimeter cubed, 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. So we can go, it's going to be nicer if we're going from kiloliters to milliliters, right? And then we can just change it to centimeters cubed at the end. So let's draw a map for this problem because there's a lot to it. 352 megagrams per kiloliter, and we want to end up with nanograms per milliliter, which we can then change to centimeters cubed. Let's start by converting the top. Kiloliters are going to stay on the bottom. We don't want to touch them yet. What can we convert megagrams into? Tell your partner, what can we convert megagrams into? Megagrams go to grams. Yes. And then grams go to nanograms. And the kiloliters are just staying the same. Now we've converted the top part to where we want to get, oh, that was supposed to be a highlighter, that didn't work. Now that we've converted the top part to what we wanted to get to, the nanograms, now we need to convert the bottom part. So kiloliters is going to have to be converted into liters before we can convert it into milliliters, and our nanograms are just going to stay the same up top there. So how many conversion factors will we be using in this calculation? Tell your partner. Are we using 1? 2? 3? No, we're using 4 conversion factors. Because there's 4 steps. All right, our unknown. How many nanograms per centimeter cubed? Our initial quantity, 352 megagrams per kiloliter. And now I know I have 4 steps, so what operator should I write right here? Times. And then after that, I should draw a line. And how many times should I repeat that? 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, we're converting the top part. We're starting by going from megagrams to grams. So we want to cancel the megagrams. So megagrams have to go on the bottom and grams have to go on the top. Next, we want to go from grams to nanograms. So grams have to go on the bottom to cancel out, and nanograms have to go on the top. Now we have finished converting the top. We need to go back to the beginning and say, oh, hang on, I've got kiloliters down here. I don't want kiloliters. Where will I have to put it in order to cancel it? On the top. So kiloliters is going up here, and I want to convert it into liters. And finally, I don't want liters on the bottom, I want milliliters, so liters have to cancel, we'll put it on the top, and milliliters will go on the bottom. Now, the nice thing about metric conversions is you know that the one goes with the prefix, 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 the one goes with the prefix. So you know where to put all your ones, yes? So go put your ones in front of the prefixes. And then you can say mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, 631,236.9 is for the nano. All right, and now we look and we say mega is 6, so that's going to be mega is here, so that's going to be 10 to the 6. Nano is 10 to the negative 9, so 10 to the negative 9. Kilo is 10 to the 3, so 10 to the 3 goes here. And milli is 10 to the negative 3, so 10 to the negative 3 goes here. Now what I would like you to do is I would like you to try and see if you can either, using whichever method you prefer, your calculator or your brain, whichever one you prefer, see if you can, what you get as an answer here. And hopefully you got 3.52 times 10 to the 11. And if you did not get 3.52 times 10 to the 11, wave me over and I can help you out. All right. Yes. So that's as bad as it's going to get. And just in case you were wondering if it's bad enough, I've forgotten something. And don't forget the units. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the units. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the units. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the units. The one goes with the prefix, and don't forget the units. Okay? Yeah. All right, and so my units on the bottom, I would have milliliters, except for that I don't want milliliters, I want centimeters cubed, so I can just replace that. And on the top, the only thing I'm left with is nanograms. So your homework is here. Now, you have a quiz on Monday, and I gave my other class a vote, because some of them were like, oh, I'd just rather do just one quiz and get it out of the way on Monday rather than doing a Monday-Tuesday quiz. But then they were kind of split on whether they wanted to do it that way or not. So if you want to, you can combine the unit conversion quiz that is not involving the metric prefixes and the one involves the metric prefixes together on Monday. If you would rather keep them separate, you can keep them. separate. There's no difference, it's just you get 2 quizzes on day 1, on Monday if you do both of them. So metric prefixes involves mega, kilo, deci, centi, milli, micro, nano. And this one has like conversion factors either that you know or are given in the question. Okay? So the non-metric, if you want extra practice for the non-metric part, that would be pages 90 to 91, numbers 9 through 15. Okay? Metric conversion, that's this stuff here. That stuff there is metric conversion. Final this part, we don't need one, because it's everything that we come to these parts. So unit 7 will just be like, yeah. Well, it's not a review, it's a combination of everything. It takes all of the units and it puts them all together. So it's like you need to know how to write the formula, you need to know how to write a chemical reaction. You need to be able to convert your units, you need to be able to have correct suffix in your answer. Yeah. What mole is and how to convert those things, so yeah. It sounds like a lot, so you just build up step by step. Just like we have so far. You got it? Cool. Yeah, so if you do both quizzes Monday, you don't have to take anything Tuesday. So, you know, some people like that option because they've got other things going on. Pardon me? Well, it'll be the same, like, I'm just going to give you 2 quizzes. That way I don't have to print them out differently, right? Yes, 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 yes.